Every small business owner has to have a mentor. A mentor is someone who has walked the path before you. So their job, I think, and I've had mentors since I was 17, that was just a few years ago. If you have the intention of becoming an entrepreneur and making money and getting wealthy, then you form your corporation right now. Instead of focusing on what you can't have and the struggles, you focus on what you can have. And so like the illegal conversations I say at home is you don't say what you can't afford, you say, well, how can we afford it? I mean, last I checked, and I always say this kind of funny, but Christopher Columbus did not discover America so we could have jobs. I mean, he discovered it for entrepreneurialism, for freedom, and we have lost it. We lost it from, generations have lost it. It is time to bring spirit back. I mean, that's where the money's made. It's, I want to be a millionaire, and I'm going to change my choices, my way of living, and really get in action around creating that for myself and my life. The traditional financial planning world doesn't work if you really want to be wealthy. The traditional financial planning world is designed that you maybe stay stable. It designs you to make less as you get older. This is Loral Langemeier. I'm a 5-time New York Times bestseller. I want you to add me on Snapchat like right now, @Loral Langemeier. Talk to you soon, all the time. What we talk about in The Millionaire Maker is money makeovers and how do you really recreate. Most people are focusing on debt. What we want you to focus on is creating more. I'd say 80% of my coaching that I do in one-on-one with folks is about their psychology and the way they think. You know, you can run from creditors, but you can't run from your credit score. You really have to get your money working for you. Most people don't know how to invest. They're investing poorly. They're in single-digit numbers. Millionaires don't do that. All right, how you doing today? How you doing? How you doing? I'm good, thank you. So how many of you want to make more money? Okay, so my company's called Live Out Loud. So I'm going to talk to you and you're going to talk back. Is that a deal? Yeah? Yeah? All right, so I'm used to like big stage speaking. You guys are like way smarter than tech than I know anything about. So you're smart at that, but man, I know how to make you money. And that's how your money makes money. So how many of you actually work really hard for your money? How many of you the money would keep coming in if you weren't doing it? That's it. The rest of you all have passive money just flowing. You know the funniest thing I always say, when it flows from the internet, there's a human behind it. That's funny, by the way. You don't think that's funny? So this is my plane. We're going to talk about a couple things. So you all should have these cards. And what I teach is what's called the Millionaire Matrix. So I guarantee in my books, which I only brought about 21 of these books. And I have a game, and I haven't really decided who's going to get that yet, so we'll have to make that up as our 29 minutes. So in the Millionaire Maker book, I talk about how to become a millionaire in 3 to 5 years. So how many of you want to be a millionaire? Keep your hand up if you are a millionaire. And how many of you want to be multi-millionaires? All right, so 3 to 5 years is a promise. My fastest millionaire is 152 days. So it's not difficult, but you have to do it very different. So we're going to have you follow along on the matrix, so don't look at that yet, quite now. I want to talk about a few things that are in front of you. Are you minding, William, if I use all your items? There we go. All right, so inside your bag is a ticket. So I gave you a ticket to a 3-day workshop. It's normally like a $1,500 cool thing. It looks like this was in your bag. If you happen to, and these are the dates of the workshop. That's how that goes together. And there you go, in case you lost yours. Now this little guy is our card that we always give out. And here's what we're doing that's very cool and different for you guys, this whole group, is we're giving you a ticket to our 3-day workshop because I'm really committed to helping a lot of you make a lot of money and really become a millionaire. And what I find with most of, I say y'all, right, kind of a Texas term, y'all, is you keep reinvesting in the same thing. So I'll get to that in a moment. Because how you become a millionaire is you make money, you keep money, and you invest money. Now that all sounds really easy, but most people in the world, and I have companies all over the world, we've been in Australia since 2007, we've been in South Africa, we've been in Ireland, the UK, Dubai. Not hard. Principle-wise, I'm going to use a lot of American terms because I only have a few minutes. I got to talk fast. and don't ask me to slow down. My speed works perfectly in my millionaire status. How many have been told to slow down in your life? Tell people to speed up. Like, all right. Oh, gosh, come on. So on the card, there is a text number. So those of you that want books, I might give it to the first person who texts. We are going to give those who text. So if you text 21777 and then you type in my name, then, and you have to prove it, my lovely friends who have given books away, you have to type it in, 21777, and then, or type in the word Loral. So it's on the back of your card, just follow these little instructions right here. Now, what you're going to do for the first 100 of you, which there's not even 100 in the room, and we've only been here for a day and a half. So you are going to be entered in a drawing to win a plane ride on my private plane. Only a few of you are excited. Oh, no, I'm going to be in the back having a cocktail with you. No way. Yeah. You guys are supposed to be more excited than that. How many of you have ever flown in a private aircraft? How many of you want to? How many of you want to consistently? Then you have to buy one. So it's not difficult. So I've had a private plane for about 11 years. Once you start flying private, it's awesome. I grew up in a farm in Nebraska, so I grew up with no money conversations, so I've just learned all of this. I grew up in a big farm family. I currently live in Lake Tahoe, Nevada, and I got a plane for a lot of reasons. Getting out of Tahoe is an interesting challenge. And then the biggest moment was when I wrote the Millionaire Maker book in 2006. And people say, well, why don't you update the book? I said, because how to become a millionaire is how millionaires have been created for centuries. This isn't like a new formula, right? So you guys ready to learn it? Yes? Yes? All right. So in the matrix, whoops, too many clicks. There we go. If you notice, it's an infinity circle. So why is it an infinity circle? Yeah, so it's make money, invest, or actually it's make, keep, invest with the team. Make, keep, invest with the team. First, let's start, why is it an infinity loop? This is that part where you talk back to me. My companies live out loud, conversations about money, which means I talk to you, you talk back. What? It's a cycle. What else is it? What's an infinity loop mean? It never ends. So from the minute you walk onto the planet, whether you care about money or not, which most people don't, I'm going to cuss a little, give a shit about money. Well, they actually do, but they're taught in two different conversations. So there's two conversations in the world of money. The one that we're taught worldwide, which was formed in 1933. If you guys have ever read an extraordinary book and want to know about the financial systems, how this whole thing got generated, it's called The Creature from Jekyll Island. And anybody read the book? All right, so that's how this whole mess got started. So that's when the banking system got started. And there's two conversations, right? There's the conversation, which I'm going to call occupational, right? So occupational conversation is get a job, right? Well, first of all, let's talk about the educational system. You go through school to get what? Conditioned to get a job. It's a worldwide education problem. So you're not really becoming an entrepreneur, right? And how many of you are entrepreneurs? All right. How many of you have jobs? How many of you will quit your job when I teach you how to be a really damn good entrepreneur? And some of your bosses are in the room, you're like, pick me, but don't let them see. It's true, it happens all the time. So the problem in that occupational conversation is that we're conditioned, right, to get a job and then maximize your qualified plans. In America, it's called your IRA. In Canada, I'm married to a hot Canadian back there, it's called an RRSP. In Australia, it's called a superannuation. All right, so it comes up with whatever name. But it's a principle. I mean, can you imagine, like, this is how crazy those products are. You get paid by a company, and then you give your money back because they match it, so then they get to invest it. It's the most interesting financial self-fulfilling mess, and everybody buys into it because they don't have to think about money, right? So, like, how many of you, if you think about this whole infinity circle, how many of you are really, really interested and engaged and learn, like you consciously learn about money? How many of you are more interested in what Google's going to do than your money? I had to go there. Had to go there. At least you kind of enjoy my humor. But so, and I'm not picking on you or criticizing. I want you to wake up to the fact this is a highly, highly structured system that the rich get rich and the poor get poor. It's a worldwide phenomenon. It's the way that it is. You can whine about it, cry about it, or you can get involved and learn about it. So this occupational conversation is about getting jobs, which gives you the worst kind of money because you're the most taxed money. Like the worst kind of money in the world is payroll money, right? Because you make money, then you get taxed. You guys get it? Make money, get taxed, then you get to live on what's left. Why wouldn't you be an entrepreneur? Even if you have a job, I still want you to have your own business. Because then you get, in our great country, 73,000 pages of tax deductions. Now, whether you like Trump or not, I always say get past his hair and personality, he's already up to 80,000 pages. So in this time frame, it'll probably be over 100,000 pages of tax deductions. That's not 100,000 deductions. That's pages, which means what do you need to pay for personally? Well, that's up to tax counsel, but I know, I can almost guarantee most of you overpay tax, right? So where you can make money, take all the deductions, then pay tax. Why would you live in this tax structure versus this tax structure? And the answer is, what? You just don't know, right? So this is where I am super passionate about teaching people about knowing that the entrepreneurial wealth building conversation is where the rich get rich. It's designed that way. So if you want a job, that's fine, but I want you to have business on the side. And then the biggest thing I want you to do is learn how to invest. And when you park your money on Wall Street, good luck, right? So if you know, why are you laughing?
Don't go to stock market.
Oh, God, it's the scariest place. People say, oh, I'm so safe in the stock market. That's about as ridiculous as saying you're safe in a job and they'll fire you tomorrow. Like the whole thing. Oh, my God. See, he's already my best friend. So there's a reason that our workshop is called Off Wall Street Assets. So we're going to buy in the street. So I'm going to go through that. All right, so back to the matrix. You guys all ready? How many of you want to learn this entrepreneurial conversation, the wealth building conversation, and then live your life in it? So people, I say, do you have a program we can sign up for? I said, no, I don't have a program, I have a lifestyle. Because when you live in a corporate lifestyle, you live very differently. How I parent kids is very, how many of you have parents, or how many of you are parents? How many of you are parents, have kids? Really? No kids? That you know of? I just felt like I had to say that. All right, the other thing that this is really critical for, and this is really the serious heart passion of why I stay and I continue to educate this, is number one, no one's teaching it. You can say, well, I can go down to Schwab and Fidelity and, with Wells Fargo or US Bank, name them the name, wherever it is. You're not going to learn this. Like I have a finance degree, didn't learn any of this. What you learn when you get a finance degree is how to get a finance job. And then when you learn, then when you go off and get an MBA, I call it a massive bad attitude. That's just so you get a bigger job, right? Because great entrepreneurs are not born, for the most part, out of MBA programs, right? And I'm not making fun of school. My son's a senior this year. He's about to go off to college. And he'll go off to college, but he's going to go to college to find CEOs, CMOs, CFOs to work for companies that they're going to create together. It's a very different way to go to school. Plus, he's got to have a social experiment. Guys, come on, that's funny. Oh, you're coming along. Here's the thing, though. If you think decade by decade by decade about money, right? Here's what happens about money. Is within your first 10 years, not a lot. And most people, your parents talk about it or they don't talk about it. So again, I grew up in a big farm family. We didn't talk about it. I never even knew what an asset was until I got into my finance, degree. And then you go into your next kind of decade of life, and like my son turned 16 a couple years ago, so then you have to get a car, and then you go off to school, you get an apartment, you might buy your first house, you might get married. So if you think about money, you cannot escape it. So you either learn to like it and know about it and command it, or you give it up to the financial institutes and they'll do it for you. Believe me, that's designed, they want to control it for you. So knowing just in that tax structure, why would you choose something, right, that's so, what I call irresponsible about it? And then B, what I call out of integrity. So if you say you want to get rich, then you got to learn about money, right? You have to be in integrity what you say you want. So how many of you, again, want to be a millionaire? Or multimillionaire if you already are? So then you have to learn how to be one. It isn't just going to be pixie dust and, it's just going to happen. Why do you laugh at me? Because I'm just straight. I got like 20-something minutes left. I got to go. So here's the biggest things, though, when you really think about this infinity loop, and this is where it becomes a catastrophe. Most people think that a divorce is going to kill your financial wealth. That's not true. That's actually number 3. What are the top 2 absolute destructions of family wealth? Taxes. Nope, taxes is like 5. Oh, that's like everywhere. No, consumer debt. No, that's not even the top 10. Lawsuits are exciting. They're in the top 5. Lack of education. Health. When a family member gets sick, right, kills your financial. And then what's the next one, right? Right next to family illness. That's not taken care of for financially. Kids. No, they're actually a tax deduction. I always say you should have some. In fact, teenagers, our charity is teenage financial literacy. So if you have teens, they get to come to this workshop with you for free as well. Yes, we did about $1.2 million in scholarships last year for teenagers. But you guys got to show up and want to learn, and then you bring them. And then they never pay for the history of however long they want to work with us. So I have 26-year-olds. They became millionaires. Always work with us. Super cool stuff. No, the second is unplanned deaths. So that means you receive an inheritance, and you actually don't know how the hell you got it. Or you're about to give a ton of money away, and you're giving it to really uneducated kids. So I have a lot of clients that I work with in their estate planning, their will planning, their long-term care planning. So it's real stuff. This isn't like, again, a program. If you're going to live this life, it's a lifestyle to get rich, right? And if you want to learn it, you got to learn it. Like, seriously, you got to learn it. I always say lean in and learn it. And if what I say causes some like fear and anxiety, that's just because you don't know. See, I always say lack of knowledge creates the fear in a money conversation. Because if you actually knew what you were doing, like I own over 90 companies. I'm headed to Durango next week to hopefully buy another one. It's the cannabis dispensary there. I'm going to get in that business. I don't know a thing about the product, but I know how to run companies. It's like the gold rush of 2017. And it's going to happen. Well, it's already happening in Canada. So if all we do is go to Canada, we'll get in, get out, make a ton of money. It's insane. I heard there's somebody at Merchant Services around here. Got to meet him. Aren't you guys excited? I call it the newest kid on the block. The newest kid on the block in off Wall Street assets is cannabis, hemp, all sorts of cool stuff. So, are you guys ready? Yes. Lean in and learn? Yes. It's so exciting. So this infinity thing is critical. And here's what I would say to those of you who say you want to get rich and you don't spend time learning this. You're lying. Right? I know it's true. Like, I'm really clear. I'm the least technical human probably in the room, but at least I'm honest about it. And I'd rather hire a team. Right, Stephen Spence is our team for SEO. He's awesome, right? Here, wave your hand back there. Say he's the best SEO guy ever. But I'm also helping him with his money. Like, you got to get great people to help you. And so my goal is to be one of your greatest money teachers and just advise, you know. I'm not going to give you advice, really. I'm just going to educate the heck out of you. Is that a deal? When you text to that number, I have a couple things I'm going to give you. One, if you lost your ticket, you can sign into the workshop. The other one is for the first 100, we're going to draw somebody's amazing name.
I got an error code, FYI.
Error code?
Tech team. No. I clicked my options, I got an error. It's okay.
Alex, you want to go check in on that with Doug and the team? What? I know, but I'm more concerned about our little text things not working. Okay. So Melissa and Alex will help fix that in the next. Does everybody get an error code? No? Other people didn't. Oh, are you international? Oh, there we go. There's our problem. We just figured that out because my husband's Canadian and he didn't get it. Okay, so here's another number for those of you that have international numbers. Text 806. Are you getting ready for this? Because you're going to text my dear girl over there. 806-420-8800. 806-420-8800. That's my lovely friend, help manager, Melissa over there. So it'll go to her, okay? We'll see if we continue that. So make money, keep money, invest money with the team. So up there is your ticket. Up there is your alternative to, you get to enter to win a ride on the plane. And we literally do this. Here's the other thing for a couple of you that are really big producers in affiliate sense. Like Justin Levinson, you might know him in the space. He's a Vancouver Canadian. Rich Gurman, several people, Glenn Ledwell in my movies. So those are really good friends of mine. But they've also used my plane as the affiliate prize for the top 2 or 3 affiliates. So we can fit 7 other people on the plane. If I go with you, then you get a really deep cost discount if I like the people that you're with. If I don't, then it's more money. But usually I go because I love to meet people that are great producers, and we just go spend a day on the plane. We usually meet in Vegas, and we fly around the West Coast or wherever you want to go, and we just have a darn good time. So that's what we're going to do out there. But we also have all of the details of how to make more money, how to get your kids rich. My kids were millionaires by the time they were 10. My son will be 18, and he's going to get an LLC for his birthday. You can see how different this is? LLC is a limited liability company for you. In Canada, it's a limited company. It's just a company or partnership. Just depends which country you're in. In principle, it's the same. The difference in America is we have 4 choices, and it's really, really, really good. So let's talk through this a little bit. What I want you to do on the card is just circle some of the things that are really important to you. And we're also talking to you about a free consult. If you qualify, you'll get me. You say, well, how do you qualify? You got to have some money or know how to make some money. But we want to teach you how to make money. And making money is all about cash flow. I don't care how much cash you have. Getting cash flow is actually more of a challenge than getting cash. So I see a lot of people cash out, especially in the real estate or gas and oil markets, and cash flow is king. Actually, they say cash is king. Well, I say cash flow is queen. That's right. That was funny, by the way. So in the making money category, these are things you need to think about. You need to think about cash flow, marketing, sales, customers, products, services, accounting, fulfillment. A lot of this stuff is here. You guys have an extraordinary conference to learn this from. Here's where it gets different for a lot of you. How many of you that are entrepreneurs are still sole proprietors? You are sole traders, they call them in other countries. And you're not incorporated. So again, back to that conversation. How many of you actually are incorporated in whatever country you're in? How many of you need to get incorporated? How many of you want to pay less taxes? How many of you want to be millionaires? Then you get incorporated. See, here's the fastest way I teach keeping money. Companies make money. You can write this one down because you will want to know this little saying. It's the simplest, and I'd love to talk to your accountant about it. Actually, I wouldn't. I'd have my accountant talk. My job is to educate and introduce, right? And then I have a team of about 28 financial advisors, CPAs, tax lawyers, state lawyers, just awesome team of people that help you out. So part of our conversation with you as we continue that one-on-one is to see where you are. And this is the easiest way I teach the keep money conversation. Companies make money. Individuals get taxed. Right? Just think through that. It's pretty simple. As you make money, if your money is not going into a company bank account that has a legal right for all those deductions anywhere in the world, right? It is going to an individual bank account. It's very rare that individuals, unless they're very, very high income earners, payroll, become millionaires. Because it's a fixed income. I always say you don't have fixed potential. So why, So why do you live on a fixed income? So even if you love your job, which I have a lot of people. I have Air Force fighter pilots. I have ex-intelligence people that live overseas and do all sorts of interesting things. I have firefighters, policemen, people that need jobs. But they also have businesses on the side. And that's where they have a legal reason for their company to make money, and individuals get taxed. So when they say they're going to tax the rich, they're not talking about me. I only make $48,000. I'm an average American single mom with 2 kids. But my companies make millions. You guys get it? And some of you are personally probably paying yourself too much tax. Might be. This is all stuff that is want to say, I want to raise my hand. No obligation. I'll just start introducing you to the coolest people. You'll say, where are these people? There's very few of them. How many of you already have heard or like hearing, not conflicting information, but different than you've heard before? How many of you are like irritated you haven't heard it before? See, I think this stuff should be taught in the school system. I think it should be taught like in junior high. So keeping money starts with your company. And there's a whole team that will help evaluate your company, what entity and what country you're in. And when you really want to play, like I have inventory and warehouses all over the world, so then you can play foreign exchange in your own bank accounts. There's so many cool things if you really want to play. Aren't you excited about this? I get more excited in 10 minutes than you guys all look excited. Qualified plans, huge. So if you're in America, I'm just going to use the American one because America, even though I have even trusts in companies in other countries, America still has the broadest reach for the best tax strategies, right? So if you're an LLC or an S Corp or C Corp or whatever you are, you can get what's called a solo 401k. Nobody teaches you this because most of the financial institutions don't give you this. So it's the first $56,000 is tax-free. Right? So you make your first 56, you park it away as tax-free income. And then, by the way, if you don't have Roth IRAs, you should all get them. And if you don't have them for your kids, you should get them for your kids. A Roth is tax-free, tax-deferred. It will stand in the next 3.5 years, for sure. It about went away in our last administration. So a lot of these things are really critical. How do you do your tax planning? Do you have the right insurance? Insurance is a huge, huge myth. Most people think insurance is a death benefit. Right? So insurance, the way that we teach you, is actually tax-free income later in life. right? But most people aren't insured properly. So if you're getting like, oh my gosh, this is so much, it is a lot. But also, I've been doing this for 20 years, right? And my goal with you is just start. Just start walking the path, right? When you get the Millionaire Maker book, read chapter 2. It's called The Gap Analysis. And then it's really about 7 families that I helped become millionaires. One was a single woman, started as a dog walker, right? And now she actually does house concierge and house management. So we changed her entire business. So there's a lot of just that piece of making more money that's critical. Do you have financial protection, identity protection, credit repair, wealth off the radar, and then business funding? I can help you get up to $100,000, $150,000 in business funding. See, what's interesting about money, it's just a cost of money, right? Money's just a cost of, like I'll speak to debt. You said consumer debt's a bad problem. Consumer debt's just overspending because you don't know how to make money. Well, it's buying power, but here's the truth. This occupational conversation, right? And the best teachers of that are Susie Orman, Ramsey, Bach, those guys, right? But they're going to say, if you have credit card debt, you should live within your means. Cut up your credit cards. Are you kidding? You can't, like, you cut up your credit cards, you don't have credit. I mean, remember, all that advice is Ward and June Cleaver era. 1950, 60, when all that shit got made up, it's totally illegitimate. It doesn't make sense right now. So what does make sense is, let's just do a little debt test. How many of you have paying off your house as a strategy? Be honest. Okay? So why would you pay off your house when it's only 2, 3, 4% money? When I can promise you I'll teach you how to make 10, 15, 20, 30. I have some stuff that's doing 40, 50%. Why would you pay it off? So I have a couple that just joined me. I have a very elite mastermind program. And they joined me and they said, well, you know, we're not going to start until we pay off our $200,000. I said, what do you pay off for $200,000? Just what kind of debt created $200,000? And they said, well, part of it's mortgage. And again, mortgages are cheap money. My airplane's only 1.8. I owe over $800,000 on it. She said, oh my gosh, you're $800,000 in debt. No, I'm not. That's cheap money. Not when I'm making 12, 15, 20, right? So when you really learn about it, see, I'd rather have you invest your $200,000 at 10%, simple, easy to get, make 20%, or make $20,000, that's about $1,600 a month, use that money to pay off your debt. Because to replace $200,000 as a base principal is a lot of money. So why burn out your base? Don't ever do that. But again, this kind of conversation would say, do it that way, and then I'm going to teach you how to live with debt. Right? Debt's just a cost of money. Let's talk about some cool investing things. Off Wall Street means this. It means gas and oil, notes. So for example, I'd rather be the bank than be an equity owner. I love Shark Tank. I'm actually in the final running to be a shark on the tank. Some of those folks are leaving, which would be kind of exciting. I know. Yay! More women power up there. But Shark Tank has done an amazing job of really elevating that equity is so important. And the truth is debt has more power. So for example, I just helped somebody that couldn't get a loan in America close a property. So I put down $135,000 to close the property, right? And then out of the property, I get 15%. And I get first deed of trust, which means I'm their bank. So I love being a very expensive bank. You say, well, why wouldn't they go to the bank? Because they can't qualify at the bank. Do you guys get it? See, debt's power and debt's leverage if you know how to use it. But we're taught that debt is so bad, right? And that off Wall Street, like, would you rather buy oil and gas stock or would you rather own the well? You want to own the well. It's 85% depreciation. Would you rather own a REIT? And so the mistake, and I've heard for some of you say it, I won't pick on you there, Doug. But some of you think that investing off Wall Street takes a lot of work. I'm going to promise you it takes education and access. So it's knowledge and it's access. It does not take a lot of work. Like, I don't want to manage the tenant. That's why I did the bank side, not the tenant side. I've done over 1,000 real estate transactions. I know how to do all that. Notes are awesome if you know how to do them right. Real estate franchises. And again, the newest kid on the block. There's your precious metals there, Alan, right here. Gold and silver. Yep, Bitcoin's a new baby on the block. Cannabis is a big one on the block. Hemp is a new one on the block. But nobody knows how to do them. And usually people park their money in the stock market. And I'll just end, because I know I got little zeros going back there, with, I know I could talk all day about this. So, so a lot of folks just believe, what was I going to tell you, off Wall Street? It's hard to get, money's hard to get. Oh, it's just hard. Yeah, but it's really hard to do. Oh, and then it takes a lot of work. And the truth is it doesn't take that much work if you have a good team. Right? So I own Franchise Legacy. I own a whole bunch of companies. I own restaurants. I don't know a thing about how to cook. Ask my husband. I get hives. I own a hair salon. I don't know how to cut hair. My point is, my goal is to teach you about money and get you really, really smart. Oh, and I was going to say, is knowledge and access will give you the power you need. You say, well, I don't know how to get money. Getting money, if you know how to make money, or you know how to have a conversation about money, most people don't know how to have a conversation about money. Oh, I know, I was going to say, if most of you think that the stock market's safe, good luck. And here's what I would say. Then tell me exactly what you're invested in and who the fund managers are and how many fees they get and how much you're overtaxed. Because you don't know. You just give it to one person that's making, you know, a fee. Oh, it's frightening. All right, and then team is, I think, one of the most critical things. So I became a millionaire at 34. I did it in 6 months out of damn urgency because I got pregnant, and I was going to be a single mom. So I went into parenting saying, I'm going to be a single mom. He didn't want to be a dad, so I got to it. And I would bet most of you in the room make enough money that you could get to it too. Once you have something to make money with, doing the other two is where becoming a millionaire requires you to make it and invest it at the same time. You got to make it, invest it, make it, invest it, make it, invest it. So this is you in the center of your conversation. I would invite you to learn. These are some of the topics that we talk about. And I want you to lean in. How many of you are ready to learn and play and understand this? So if your text didn't work for whatever reason, go see Melissa. Alex is straight there at the back. Alex, do you want to come up here? Because we're going to have you verify that you text. And we're going to give you over $4,200 in gifts. Is that all right? Yes. Okay. So first of all, you can text. If a text doesn't work, the other thing, too, I just remembered, is you can go to justmetloral.com. Justmetloral.com, L-O-R-A-L, and we'll give you these gifts. So here's your gifts. I have a whole bunch of kids' stuff, right? Don't ever pay your kid an allowance. It's one of my most prized programs. I teach UCLA, and I teach the kids that are 18 years old to go get an LLC. They tell their parents, and they're like, oh, my God, this crazy lady. And then the parents end up being my clients. It's all good. So the ticket I gave you teaches you all this. The one thing I do want to say about the ticket, because I won't go through all this because my time's up, is I teach it. I'm not one of those gurus that sends out subs. So I'm out at every workshop. I want to get to know you. I want to help you. I want to give you the right access, the right direction. I teach a concept called sequencing, which is do the right thing at the right time. And I'm going to give you all this other stuff too. Is that all right? Yeah. Did you guys have fun? Yeah. Thank you, thank you. So when I say put your commissions to work, like first of all, don't overpay tax, and then get it to work off Wall Street. And I can't wait to teach you. And by the way, you all have to do these. I only got an 8. 10. No, you better redo that. You better give me a 10. All right, so thank you. The first person that runs to the room, decide what, well, you already have the game.